Hi there, good afternoon. Welcome to your 4 to 5. Everybody's here today. Eric, Maddie, Lauren, Jalen, Christian, and lots to talk about.
It is a Monday. Make sure you're heading on over to the WFMY News 2 Facebook page. We live stream the entire 4 to 5 there and talk with you throughout the show.
Yeah, lots to talk about today, especially the weather. Now, Christian, you're tracking the possibility of some storms. What's the latest?
Well, guys, I tell you what, it's kind of gotten to be a busy afternoon of weather over the last hour or so. And actually, there's not a whole lot going on the radar, but there are several thunderstorms we're watching in the Triad area. Right now, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Guilford County and Randolph County for this storm that just pushed through downtown Greensboro. And if I zoom in even a little bit closer, this has been not only a torrential rain producer, but also a crazy hailstorm. It's been producing hail since it started back in Kernersville, all the way through Colfax, across the Guilford College area, and now just pushing out of downtown. We're still seeing that bright pink where you're seeing that show up, just moving southeast out of downtown Greensboro, just past over Freeman Mill Road, where you're seeing those bright pinks. That's an indication that there is some hail in this storm, and it's been producing hail for about the last hour. Moving southeast at about 30 miles per hour if it holds together. Here's some rough arrival times on the right for you, moving into Eline by about 4 o'clock, or just in the next couple minutes, I should say, near the Rock Creek area by about 4:15, 4:16, and then if it holds together, moving in to Randolph County near Liberty over around 4:25 and 4:30. Also, another storm back to our west that we're watching just moved through downtown Winston-Salem. Could also be producing some small hail, but nonetheless producing torrential rain and quite a bit of lightning. Now about to move right over downtown Walburg as well. But if we zoom out on a wider view, like I said, there's not actually a whole lot that's going on across our area, mainly across the Triad, Greensboro, Winston-Salem, High Point, and Burlington. And check out some of this crazy hail that we got from one of our weather spotters, Dwayne Young. Actually, his brother-in-law sent us this picture from Rhonda and Ron Kimmery. This was just some of that hail that got put down in Kernersville not long ago. Take a look back to the west in High Point. Things are starting to clear out there, also in Winston-Salem as well. We'll be keeping an eye as we go throughout the next hour or so. Honestly, I think by about 5 or 5:30, we should all be in the clear and the storm should be out of here. We do start to clear things out slowly but surely. We'll hold on to clouds tomorrow morning, get partly cloudy skies in the afternoon, and behind that front, we're downright chilly, mid-60s for tomorrow afternoon, and even cooler after that. I'll show you that 7-day forecast coming up.
All right, thank you, Christian. Don't forget, we'll continue to follow these storms. We'll have you covered both on air and online. Make sure you check out our website, WFMYnews2.com. Get the latest radar there and forecast, and also our app. You can download that and take it anywhere you go.
Let's dig a little bit deeper into COVID-19 vaccines this afternoon. Today, the state says 7.6 million doses of the vaccine have been given out. Still, less than half of adults are fully vaccinated. Now, if you take a look at this graph, you can see that the number of doses given out each week is going down every week. It's been dropping since the start of April. Dr. Deanne Brooks with Cone Health says it's a trend we're seeing here in the Triad, too.
So we are seeing it locally, and it's disappointing because we still have a lot of people who need to be vaccinated within our communities. I think some of it is hesitancy. I think some folks may not be real comfortable with the vaccine for many different reasons. And there are a lot of myths out there. And I think the most important thing is to just talk with a healthcare provider that you trust and say, hey, this is what I'm hearing about this, and just find out what the facts are.
Well, I have more numbers for you. If you take a look at these, you can see in another way that the number of people who have gotten both doses of the vaccine versus one dose, and as it stands, more than 50% of people are partially vaccinated, more than 44% are fully vaccinated. Now, these two percentages have been getting closer and closer, and Dr. Brooks explains why.
As we're giving less first doses, we're giving correspondingly less second doses. So 3 to 4 weeks, depending on which vaccine you've received, you're seeing those lower number of second doses right now. And it's corresponding to when we started seeing the decline.
If you have not gotten your shot yet, Dr. Brooks says now is your time. You don't have to wait any longer. And if you aren't sure about getting the vaccine, talk to your doctor and make sure the information you're basing your decision off of is factual.
Could masks become a part of the normal flu season? According to Dr. Anthony Fauci, masks could become the new normal. In an interview with Meet the Press, Fauci talked about the idea of wearing masks during a normal flu season, saying most Americans have gotten used to wearing the mask.
We've had practically a non-existent flu season this year merely because people were doing the kinds of public health things that were directed predominantly against COVID-19. So it is conceivable that as we go on a year or two or more from now, that during certain seasonal periods, people might actually elect to wear masks.
Dr. Fauci also says he believes it's time to start relaxing indoor mask requirements as more people continue to get vaccinated.
So for the third day in a row, our state's coronavirus hospitalizations have stayed below 1,000. Today's number, 951. This is the fourth day in a row that the number has gone down. That's great news. And just in the past 2 weeks, this number has dropped by about 200. We haven't seen a trend this good in more than a month. Now, the number of new positive cases added in the past 24 also low. The state says it learned of 974 cases in the past day. We have not seen a number that low in more than a month.
Let's jump into your 4 to 5 roundup. The German pharmaceutical company BioNTech says it plans to create a state-of-the-art manufacturing site for its mRNA vaccines in Singapore. The company developed the first widely used coronavirus vaccine with U.S. partner Pfizer. BioNTech said that the new manufacturing facility will boost the regional and global capacity of its products and will also help to ensure rapid response to potential pandemic threats in the region. The site could be operational by 2023. Ford Motor Company recalling 661,000 Explorer model SUVs in the U.S., Canada, and Mexico. This after U.S. regulators warned that retention pins on the vehicles could become loose, allowing the roof rail covers to come off of the vehicles. The recall focuses on 2016 to 2019 model years. In a document released on May 5th, Ford says it is not aware of any accidents or injuries so far related to this issue. And Amazon blocked 10 billion suspected phony listings last year in a massive counterfeit crackdown. The company has been under some pressure from both shoppers, brands, and lawmakers to crack down on counterfeits on its site. The number of blocked listings last year was up 67% from the year before, and Amazon says it can stop counterfeiters but before they can sell anything thanks to machine learning technology. The company also gives brands a way to remove fake items from the site themselves. We'll be right back.
Facebook folks, what is happening? It is Monday.
It's Monday once
100%
again.
Monday.
Let's get happy on Monday.
Y'all, I was about to do something, but I don't remember what it was. So
I hate when that
Oh, well.
happens. Oh my gosh. It's literally my entire day.
I don't know what I was gonna do, but
Don't know what it was, but it may come back to me, it may not.
let's figure it out. Oh, I think I found it.
So how was everybody's Mother's Day?
Well,
Awesome.
it's pretty solid.
Ate
Cool.
brunch at 1618, one of my favorite restaurants. Loved it.
Which one?
Haven't tried that.
The original and the seafood one on Friendly.
Food.
So good.
Oh, Francis Price posted, "Hi, I'm 8 years old and I like watching the news with my Nana."
Oh,
Hi, we're so glad you're watching. This is awesome.
Hello, hello.
Acting like me watching the news as a kid. That is no. That's no.
when I was a kid, I would pretend that I was like a talk show host, and I would put a card table up in my room and a chair, 2 chairs, and I would put one of my stuffed animals in one chair, and I would interview him like he was a guest.
What was
all
your
the
what
time.
was,
love
what was
that.
your favorite talk show coming up?
What'd you say, Jalen?
What was your favorite talk show coming up?
Well, when I was coming up, it was Johnny Carson, but it was always the Tonight Show, and then after that, when Letterman had his late night show, that was awesome.
Cool beans, cool beans.
Okay,
This one
okay.
is mostly about that particular film, correct? Your upcoming.
Yes, and they're both of them are about individual.
Okay.
You know, the River Run International Film Festival in full swing right now. That always creates a buzz around the Triad, but this year, a little bit of an extra boost here. Now, fans of the show Orange is the New Black may recognize Finnerty Steeves, who plays Beth on that show. She's in Winston-Salem this week for her directorial debut of a film, and it's called Before, During, and After. We spoke with her about the project. Take a look.
You have this opportunity to be whoever you want to be.
You don't want to wait until you meet your dream man to go on your first date. You got to work out the kinks.
Finnerty, thanks for being with us today. I love the idea of what you're doing with this film because there's so many people that understand this topic. Give everybody a little synopsis of what we'll see at River Run.
Sure. Before, During, After is a narrative feature loosely based on my first marriage falling apart. It's a dramedy. It's a non-linear story, and I wanted to play with this idea of what moving on looks like. And for this particular person, I know everybody's divorce story is very different, but I wanted this to be sort of a hopeful, humorous, and heartbreaking story of sort of what it's like for someone middle-aged to move forward.
You know, sometimes don't you think we need humor in those situations to kind of push through? It helps. I mean, is that part of your narrative?
Because it is loosely based on my first marriage falling apart, there were so many moments that were very humorous at the time. I mean, I couldn't laugh at it at the time. I was too heartbroken, but there was a small part of me that was clocking the fact that like, this weren't me. This would be really funny. So that's what I sort of set out to do.
What do you think was the hardest part of doing this? Because that's a personal topic.
I think the hardest part was just putting it all together. As a first-time filmmaker, I've never done anything like this before. I'm an actor. I've always had a career. I've had a career as an actor, but I never really knew what it meant to put all of these pieces together. And in some ways, I'm glad I didn't know what I didn't know, because it allowed me to sort of ask for help and to move forward. And then once people had invested their time and talent and funds, I felt very that I had to see this through, and it was an incredible experience. This award at River Run means so much to me, to be considered emerging, an emerging filmmaker in your middle age is like pretty awesome.
Well, this sounds incredible. We can't wait to see it at River Run, and thanks for your time today. So when I spoke with her, she was vacationing to the north, and she said, I'm literally, as soon as we finish this, I'm driving to Winston-Salem. So she's probably here already, and she will win that Emerging Masters Award, is what it's called, the Emerging Master, because this is her first time to get in front of the camera, but also behind it and direct her own film. So she's super excited about that.
I first want to say I'm a huge fan of Orange is the New Black, so lucky you got to interview her today. But I also think this is a great example of why it's important for us to share our stories, how she's taking her own life experiences and able to educate those who might be going through the same thing, and able to do it in an artistic way.
I cannot imagine acting in a film, like an entire movie, and directing it at the same time. That has to be extremely difficult. So it sounds like she's definitely worthy of this award. I can barely read the news and figure out where I'm supposed to stand. So.
Yeah, Maddie, could you imagine trying to anchor the show and direct the show
Nope.
at the same time?
No.
But just to kind of piggyback off what you were saying, Lauren, how she took a moment in her life that maybe could have been traumatic or a moment of heartbreak and turn it into a success story, and she used that as an outlet to tell her story, and now she's being awarded for that. I can't believe it. I don't know if I would be brave enough to put my dirty laundry out there like that, but congratulations and kudos.
I know I didn't get to ask her this because the obvious question is, somewhere is the ex. So you're wondering if you're watching that show. I didn't get to that point with her to ask her, but I'm sure that was handled very carefully there. But she did say that, when you look at the statistics, and it's that 50-50 thing everybody talks about with marriages, I joked with her that, well, there's 50% of the audience is probably going to understand exactly what you went through. Yeah.
You're right, Eric. That's probably a real delicate situation.
That's exactly right. You handle that very easily. Just like we'll get off that topic and go to break right now. We're coming right back.
I'm excited. River Run's back.
I am too. We're right in the
Facebook's
middle.
back
Very
too.
cool.
We were just looking at different shots and getting ideas, but it will at least give you an idea of the quality.
Welcome back to your 4 to 5. How does sugar and salt relate to our thinking?
Today on U Day, Coach Lamont explains how salt and sugar can affect more than just our taste buds.
Here we have a bowl of salt and a bowl of sugar. Now looking closely, can you tell the difference? Probably not, because by sight they look the same, but by taste, not so much. Now, what if you tasted them and couldn't even tell the difference? I relate this to the way that some of us think. There's a such thing as salty thoughts and sweet thoughts. Salty thoughts are thoughts that make us, salty, while sweet thoughts have a tendency to make us sugarcoat everything. The problem is some of us are so salty-minded that we perceive it to be sweet because no one ever challenges on our thinking. Some who have dominant sugar thoughts sugarcoat everything, never confronting the root of an issue. We must recognize when we are salty or sugarcoating things. In the long run, too much of either never does the body good. This is Coach Lamont reminding you to have your best shoe day. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, checking back in on the weather, a bit of a busy afternoon across the Triad over the last hour and a half or so. Now, there's not a whole lot on the radar for our area, but we are watching a couple storms in Guilford County and also leaving Forsyth County, moving into Guilford and Randolph County. There are 2 severe thunderstorm warnings in effect right now for our area. That does include Guilford County, Chatham County, Alamance County, and Randolph County. That's for this storm here that's now moved east, or now moved southeast of downtown Greensboro, I should say, through the Pleasant Garden area. And if we zoom in even a little bit closer, this storm has been producing hail ever since it moved through Kernersville, and the worst of the storm is now just pushed through the Forest Oaks community, so near the Forest Oaks Golf Course and just to the east of Hagenstone National Park. That's where that storm is right now, the worst of it, but it does look to be weakening. If it holds together, again, moving to the southeast at about 30 miles per hour, moves into the Rock Creek area by about 4:20, into Liberty by about 4:30, and if it holds together after that, it'll move into the Staley community by about 4:38 or 4:40. Next storm that we're keeping our eyes on is over here, moving right into downtown High Point right now and moving over into Archdale over the next 5 to 10 minutes or so. Now, this one isn't as concerning, but there still is some torrential rain in this storm, kind of on the fringe here of Forsyth County, Guilford County, Davidson County, but it is pushing southeast and will eventually move into Randolph County if it holds together over the next 15 to 30 minutes. But other than that, those are really the 2 storms that we're watching on radar. We are still in a severe thunderstorm watch that does include Guilford County, Randolph County, Alamance County. It also includes Chatham County as well. That goes until 10 o'clock tonight, but as these storms start to wind down, I expect that watch to be trimmed back some over the next couple hours, and of course we'll keep you updated on that. Take a look at some of this hail though that we have seen in Kernersville. This was from Rhonda and Ron Kimmery in Kernersville with that crazy hailstorm that rolled through just about an hour ago, and that's the same storm now that's in Guilford County. So it's been producing hail for several miles and for quite a bit of time. But notice in downtown Greensboro, the skies are starting to clear. Also back in Winston-Salem as well, still clouds and still some storms on the way to High Point and Burlington. Now, of course, since it's been storming and been raining, look at how our temperatures have fallen. We were in the mid 70s earlier. We dropped by about 10 degrees, 65 in downtown Greensboro right now, 67 in Winston-Salem. Still warm to our south in the upper 70s where they haven't had any storms so far. And this cold front is coming through, and that's what's producing some of these showers and storms we've been watching. It's got a little bit of a backdoor component to it, meaning it's kind of pushing to the south a little bit, and you can notice with those dew points starting to fall into the 50s just over the North Carolina-Virginia border. That cold front will bring us some cooler and drier air as we go into your Tuesday. Tonight, we'll start to clear things out a bit. A stray shower or a storm isn't out of the question, but I expect partly cloudy skies with temperatures dropping down into the mid-50s. We'll start your Tuesday with more clouds than sun in the morning. We'll get some more sunshine peeking out as we go throughout the afternoon, but it's a much cooler day of weather with highs only topping out in the mid and upper 60s for your Tuesday. Wednesday, downright chilly. I think we'll struggle to get out of the 50s with a low rain chance for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Drying out, temperatures rebounding going into the weekend. That's your forecast. We'll be right back.
D2. Yo. Mike check.
I put that in my back pocket because usually it gets in the way when I'm walking around with poops on my.
You actually. All right, mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 to 5. Mic check. 1, 2, 3.
You can check the mic, the check. 1, 2. check, baby, 1, 2, 3, 4, check, baby. It is 4:22 in the PM. Lauren, what's on your schedule tonight besides singing?
Oh, I'm coming back to do the 11, so make sure you join us.
What? Jalen's yelling from the other side of the room. Yeah, you have fun with that.
Thank you, Maddie. Thank you for your continued
I might be
support.
asleep, but I'll be. The TV will be on, but I might not see you. B. Bennett's here.
Yep.
Brian Bennett, all up in it.
BB. BB.
Where will Brian be standing, Matt? Studio 2.
Studio 2.
Yep.
What are your plans for the evening?
Well, we did have band practice, but it got canceled.
Because of the weather? Or?
No, one of our band. You were always in the band if you want to be. Somebody was sick, so they canceled it. Jalen's got an open invite too. You know, for an artist, having your artwork on display for the world to see, of course, that's one of the most gratifying things to ever experience. Well, one North Carolina soda company is giving that opportunity for artists who thinks they have what it takes. WFMY News 2's Brian Bennett has more on this. Pretty cool, Brian.
Calling all artists. Get your pen and your paper ready because Cheerwine may just be looking for your design. That's right. The 104-year-old Salisbury-based company is giving artists a chance to have their original artwork featured on the official 2021 Cheerwine Festival t-shirt. Now listen, you have until July 1st to submit your masterpiece, and then a panel of judges will select the best top 5 entries to be voted on by the public, and a winner will be announced in August. As far as the perks, the winner will receive a one-night stay at the Salisbury Hampton Inn, a Cheerwine Festival gift basket, and more. This year's festival is slated for September 18th, and who knows, if you're lucky, you may just have your masterpiece on every single person walking through downtown Salisbury. I'm just saying, you never know. Good luck and happy designing.
The thing I love about Cheerwine is the fact that you can use it for so many things. There's like holiday punches, and some people do it in like a pound cake kind of thing, so it's not just a soda.
It is that time of the day where we start talking about food. I love, like, one of my favorite questions to ask people who are visiting North Carolina, maybe who have never been, have you had a Cheerwine yet? Because it truly is the drink of North Carolina.
Yeah, I love the drink. So excited to have it here in North Carolina now that I've moved back here. But I also think this contest is really cool just to promote the festival itself. I actually just learned about this festival today. I did not know that there was a Cheerwine festival.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, guys. Like each and every single one of you guys have said. And just to give artists that opportunity to showcase their skills, because so many people are like, you know, just in their room drawing and sketching. Now you get a chance to actually have it on a t-shirt, guys. So,
right.
I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. And again, it's July 1st for your submissions.
What they need to do next is to let artists submit and then maybe do a limited edition can, you know, where they put the artwork on the can.
I like that idea.
That would be fun. Then people can try to collect them all, and yeah, that'd be fun.
I mean, if you missed the 4 to 5 on Friday, we did all showcase our artistic abilities. And I think that we have a real shot, if we collaborate and work together as a team, of getting our design chosen.
It might take all 4 of us, but yeah.
Another team bonding activity, though.
That's what we need.
And we'll have Cheerwine while we do it.
Yeah, and that would be cool, guys, because the last person that won was actually a University of Tennessee student. So hopefully we can get somebody from North Carolina.
There
this
you
year.
go.
So
very good.
Stuff.
Cheerwine float. That's my favorite.
Ooh,
way
so
to have
good.
Cheerwine with vanilla ice cream.
I need
Yes,
to try
love it.
that.
All right, we're coming right back. Stay there. The 4 to 5 continues in just a minute.
I've been craving pound cake. Now I want it even more, but my grandma's pound cake specifically.
Hey, so someone from church gave me pound cake, and I'm going to heat it up in a skillet tonight because that is how you should eat leftover pound cake. I did not see Tim Tebow. Well, he's going to be there with Jaguars, right? Well, of course. Does not surprise me.
Mic check, mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Mic check. Just put it back on.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to your 4 to 5, 30 more minutes straight ahead. Eric, Maddie, Lauren, Jalen, Christian.
This is what we call the gang is all here. Yes, we are live here on your television, but we are also live on our Facebook page. Head on over to WFMY News 2's page. We live stream the entire show there and talk with you in the comments section in the break.
Yeah, make sure you come join us. Lots to talk about today, but let's check back in on the weather. Christian, are you still tracking some of those storms?
Yeah, guys, we still got a few storms across the area that we're keeping an eye on. Now, it has been a bit of a busy afternoon, at least in the Triad proper, Greensboro, Winston-Salem, High Point, over the last hour or so, and there are 2 storms on radar that we're watching now. And if you just joined us just a couple moments ago, there was a severe thunderstorm warning on this storm leaving Guilford County, moving into Alamance County now. That severe thunderstorm warning has been allowed to expire, but this is still a strong thunderstorm. And if we zoom in even a little closer on this, the worst of this storm really is getting out of Greensboro. So it's out of Greensboro, out of Sedalia, out of the Pleasant Garden area, and really is becoming more of an Alamance County storm right now. It's been producing hail for almost 30 miles. It started over in Kernersville, where we showed you some of those crazy hail pictures just a few minutes ago, and it's been producing hail all across Guilford County for about 30 miles now, and even still is as it's moving into Alamance County. But again, this storm is no longer severe. You see these bright pinks that are starting to pop up or still showing up on the radar? That's an indication to me that there's still probably some small hail in this storm, and if not, torrential rain and lightning as well. Another storm back to our west a little bit, really starting to become more of a Guilford County and Randolph County storm. This severe thunderstorm warning goes for about the next 15 minutes until 4:45. Now, the worst of this storm is through High Point, but starting to move into Archdale and into the Level Cross area over the next 15 to 20 minutes. So this will become a Randolph County storm. Worst of this right now moving right along I-85, Business 85, moving across I-74 as well. Zooming out on a wider view, once these storms get out of our area, really, I think we'll be mostly quiet as we go throughout the rest of the evening hours. Notice how these storms are kind of popping up up along a line. That's the cold front that's working its way across the Piedmont that will eventually bring us some cooler and drier air by tomorrow and by the middle of the week. We still do have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for Guilford County, Randolph County, and Alamance County. That goes until 10 o'clock tonight. But as these storms start to leave the Triad areas, I expect that severe thunderstorm watch to be trimmed back. Take a look at what those storms look like rolling in on this camera over Wake Forest University over the last hour or so. Of course, they're out of that area now, and we're actually starting to see some sunshine and starting to notice things clearing out. We'll keep the clouds around going into Tuesday morning, but get more sunshine by the afternoon. It's a cool day of weather. Temperatures topping out in the mid 60s, and we're going to get downright chilly by the middle of the week. I'll show you that 7-day forecast coming up.
All right, thank you, Christian. Let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup with some of your headlines. Gas prices could rise after a ransomware attack on a vital U.S. pipeline over the weekend. Colonial Pipeline transports gasoline and other fuel through 10 states between Texas and New Jersey. Saturday, the company said it was hit with a ransomware attack and halted pipeline operations to deal with the threat. Colonial is in the process of restarting portions of its network. It said Sunday its main pipeline remained offline, but that some smaller lines were operational. And the brother of a Chicago Bears and former North Carolina A&T player was found dead at a North Carolina electrical substation. The Wake County Sheriff's Office says Tyrell Cohen is believed to have died by electrocution while trying to climb power equipment. Cohen is the brother of running back Tariq Cohen. The Sheriff's Office told the News and Observer that Tyrell Cohen left the scene of a car accident in Raleigh early Saturday morning. Police could not find him but started looking again when his family filed a missing persons report. The Sheriff's Office says the employee of a Duke Energy substation in Raleigh found the body Sunday morning. Authorities say they don't suspect foul play. And the city of Greensboro is considering a nightlife safety ordinance. Mayor Nancy Vaughn says the ordinance will address safety concerns after recent violent crimes outside nightlife venues. A Zoom meeting will be held at 5:30 tonight to discuss the proposed ordinance. Members of the public are welcome. For a link to the virtual meeting, go to our website, WFNYnews2.com.
Yes, they're coming soon. Cicadas will be all over North Carolina. The extremely loud bugs will be returning for a few weeks, and for a lot of people, it'll be really hard to miss them.
Yeah, but for some parts of the Triad, we might actually end up missing these loud bugs. WFNY News 2's Stacey Spivey explains.
As the temperatures warm up, the bugs come out. Mosquitoes, ticks, and gnats are the usual visitors in our yards, but this year there's another creepy crawler that only makes its appearance every 17 years, the Brood X cicadas. NC State entomology professor Clyde Sorensen says they've already gotten reports of emergence in the northwestern part of the state. He says typically these guys live for about a month, but the males sing loudly for about 3 to 4 weeks. If you do hear them in your yard this spring, like a family in Wilkesboro did this weekend, don't be alarmed. Sorensen says they're completely harmless to humans, pets, and plants. And if you don't see any, well, your time will come.
This is a huge brood in terms of its geographic coverage, but it only nicks North Carolina in a couple places. So in the northwestern corner of the state and in the far southwestern corner of the state, some folks can expect to see them. But for most of us in North Carolina, we're going to have to wait about 3 years to really get the full effect of this phenomenon.
Sorensen says most of the Triad will miss the madness this year, but in 3 years, Brood 19 of the 13-year cicada will invade the majority of the state from Rocky Mount to the Triangle. And we asked what you've seen in your neighborhood recently. Carl says a couple snakes. For Walter, it's been ladybugs and lizards. And Joanne tells us there's been a lot of little geckos on her front porch. Now, while the cicadas might be somewhat annoying, Sorensen says to keep this in mind, this is a natural phenomenon that doesn't happen anywhere else in the world. For WFNY News 2, I'm Stacey Spivey.
It's Monday, people. How you feeling about that, Lauren?
I'm not ready.
Oh.
Every Monday we say we can't believe it's Monday. Why do we work 5 days a week?
And I'm clearly not as excited as Tanya.
Oh, well, you know, it's at the end of our workday, so I'm kind of excited. Now, I don't mean to rush the week ahead, friends, but...
Are you saying you're going to make it Friday?
Ooh.
Because I'm in.
You're in if it's Friday. I'm not going to quite make it Friday. Unfortunately, you're really not going to like this. I'm talking about next Monday.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, which happens to be tax day. Give me the show of hands of who still needs to do their taxes. Hey, there's no shame
It's okay,
in that.
Lauren, listen, we got this.
There is no shame, friends, because tax day is not till next Monday, so you have time. All right, so this is what I wanted to make sure that you know, that there's a few reminders that if you worked remotely in 2020, you might think that you can write off that office chair, but no.
If you're working at home out of an abundance of caution or for the convenience of your employer, or just because your office is closed, you do not qualify for the home office deduction.
Okay, that may be a little bit of a downer, but what you can write off is up to $10,200 of unemployment benefits. The American Rescue Act allows for all of this. Normally, all unemployment would have been taxable income, so that's a break. All right, there's a reason to look forward to filing taxes, even if you don't normally file taxes. Stimulus payments 1 and 2, if you didn't get all of the payments, filing taxes is how you get the money. And if you're a parent, there's more of a break.
If you did not get all of your money for a dependent, or because the rules changed, or perhaps you share custody, or perhaps you had a new baby, those would not have already been paid to you. You will have to ask for that money on your 2020 tax return.
All right, so ask for it and get it. The IRS has several different ways for you to file for free online. It is the fastest way to get your return to the IRS, and then, of course, the fastest way for you to get a refund. And you want your refund. We have links for you in the 2 Wants to Know section.
I just checked, because of Tanya Rivera, I just checked my refund.
Tax
I
day.
am getting a refund.
It's almost time for me to do my story.
Oh, Jalen, are you excited about your story? Give us a little sneak peek since you're so happy.
Okay.
Well, y'all, I had a very special opportunity this weekend. I spoke with the good Reverend Jesse Jackson and his wife, Mrs. Jackie Jackson, and we talked a little A&T, a little Aggie land.
Cool. Yeah.
Oh, I was adjusting my tie Facebook, sorry.
That is awesome.
So yeah, had a great time. Actually, the good Reverend took a moment out to speak with my grandmother on the phone, so that was
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, you
That's
got major
amazing.
brownie points for
Dude,
that.
it's just me and my brother anyway. It's the only grandkid she has, so.
But for
But
Mother's
it's a
Day
blowout
and
on the
everything,
scoreboard. Yeah, it's a blowout.
It's a blowout. That's hilarious. Well, that's cool.
Yeah,
Jamie
it
Foxx
was a
does
great
an incredible
opportunity.
Jesse Jackson impersonation. Dead on.
Yeah,
Who does?
Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx does everything well.
He does. He does impersonations really well.
He does everything well. Whatever he does, he's going to do it well.
There's one you'd never get. Well, you might guess it if you saw the movie, but Harry Connick does a really good Jesse Jackson too. He did it in Independence Day. People forget that Harry Connick was even in Independence Day. He was like in the opening scene.
That was
or
a good
something.
movie.
That was a great movie.
Doing whatever he wants to do, Brad.
I didn't see that, Brad.
It was funny. He was imitating a football coach. He went like he turned into basically Al Pacino from Any Given Sunday, and he just had the guys rolling. Like he was out there visiting the
Any
the
Given
football team at
Sunday, is
Georgia
that
Tech.
the inches? Is that Any Given Sunday, the speech about inches?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes, yes, yes.
I love that movie.
It's a good one. We
Willie
used to
Beeman,
listen to
man.
that speech before we competed.
All right.
It's motivational. North Carolina A&T State University's spring 2021 commencement happened over the weekend, and the school gave a member of one of its most recognizable families an honorary doctorate. WFMY News 2's Jalen Gilkey sat down with a couple that went on to leave a big impact after they left A&T.
Well, 61 years ago, Reverend Jesse Jackson met his bride-to-be, Jacqueline Brown, on the campus of North Carolina A&T. This weekend, the Jacksons were back in Aggieland, where chapter 1 of their love story began.
I came to A&T and I asked God that this community would accept my application, and when it did, my life began at Howland Hall.
When Mrs. Jacqueline Jackson first came to North Carolina A&T, it was a dream come true. but never in her wildest dreams did she know what the rest of her life would be like once she arrived.
Also, I took a package from A&T, and now we are celebrating how many years?
58.
You better know how many. 58 years. My marriage became a part of my politics and just my meaning for serving, my meaning and my purpose in life.
This weekend, North Carolina A&T awarded Mrs. Jackson with an honorary doctorate for her many accomplishments in life.
A&T is a very important part of my life because not only did my husband and I attend this university, but I have 5 children, and I was able to convince 3 to return to A&T.
So truly, for the Jacksons, Greensboro is home.
What does Greensboro mean to me? Everything. I love this city. I love its history, and I'm so happy to be a part of it. Twice.
Well, what an honor and a privilege it was to sit in the presence of 2 of the most recognizable and influential people in A&T's history. We were only scheduled to speak for about 20 minutes, but we talked for close to an hour, just comparing our experiences at Aggies. Truly a moment I will never forget.
Very cool stuff, and I love how she put Reverend Jackson on the spot to remember the number of years it had been. Jalen, awesome job with this story, and I heard you even got her to make a special phone call.
Yeah, I did. So I was letting them know that how excited my grandmother was that I was going to be speaking with him today, and let her know that, you know, she's a huge fan of his and all the work that he's done. And so he actually made a phone call to her on the and just made our Mother's Day weekend. It was unbelievable. She was so shocked and just so overwhelmed with joy. They had a little special moment. We prayed together. It was just wonderful. It is a moment that, like I said, truly I would never be forgotten. Excuse me.
That's beautiful, Jalen. What's also beautiful about this story is, you know, it's inspiring to folks everywhere, but especially people who went to A&T or currently are students there, and folks that just live in Greensboro, to know that someone that came from their community has done such great things for society can let everyone here know that we can do it too.
You know how lucky we are to have, I mean, you think about having something like A&T right here in our own backyards, and what a huge impact that university has played, not only in the Triad, not only in North Carolina, not only in the South, but all over the country. And I honestly can say of all my friends that went to A&T, I have never seen, you know, the Aggie Pride thing is real because they all live it and breathe it. Jalen's included in that as well, and our own Sandra Hughes. So there's so much pride in that. We're lucky to have that here.
Just an opportunity of a lifetime, and like I said, made my Mother's Day weekend complete. My family was overwhelmed with the joy, and just an honor and a privilege.
I say this with all the love, Jalen. When you get Jalen to work on a Saturday, you know it's a story he cares about.
There you go. Almost missed my tea time this weekend.
That's right.
Oh, no.
Hey, that would have been worth it though, Jalen. That's
Absolutely
once in a lifetime.
been.
And Jalen, you know what? That's one of those, we all have those as journalists, those moments where you've interviewed somebody or you got close to greatness, you know, that kind of thing. You'll take that with you for many years.
Awesome stuff.
All right, let's get another check on the weather. Of course, things are slowly but surely improving across the Triad. I think we still have about an hour window where we'll need to keep an eye on thunderstorms. So take a look over the Triad right now. You see some clearing in Greensboro, back in Winston-Salem and Burlington, and even in High Point too. But let me show you what's going on the radar. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect. Now, the initial severe thunderstorm warning was allowed to expire, but then this storm looks like it kind of re-intensified a bit. So another one has been issued that does include Alamance County in our viewing area. It goes for about the next 30 minutes until 5:15 for this storm. This is really not a Burlington storm. In Burlington, you're not included in this severe thunderstorm warning. This is more of a Rock Creek, Saxapahaw, and even Snow Camp storm right now. And that's actually where the worst of this storm is tracking, right along Highway 87 there. And you see these bright pinks that are starting to pop up on the radar again. That's another indication to me that this storm is also still producing hail, and it's been producing hail since it formed near Kernersville over an hour ago. So it's been a big hail producer. This storm now right on the Guilford County, Randolph County line was severe, but that severe thunderstorm warning was also allowed to expire. Still some torrential rain, and there has been a little bit of hail in this storm as well. Tracking right along I-74, it's through Archdale, but really starting to move southeast into the Glenola and Sophia communities just off Highway 311 there. So be on guard. Of course, as you notice, local storm reports, these are all hail reports as to be expected. And let me show you that track that I was talking about as far as the hail goes. It started producing hail in Kernersville and then moved all the way to Guilford County. And as I say that, let me step away because we do have just now a tornado warning that has been issued. And bear with me while I switch my gears here. I'm going to bet that this is for this storm here in Alamance County that we just said had a severe thunderstorm warning on it, and that is so. So if you're just joining us, we do have a brand new tornado warning for Alamance County. Burlington, you are not in this severe thunderstorm warning or this tornado warning, but the area that could be producing a tornado, and again, just bear with me while I get my bearings here. And this is the area that we're watching that could be producing some rotation here just in Alamance County. So this is going to be just to the south of the Saxapahaw area right along Highway 87. Again, this does not include Burlington. This does not include Snow Camp as well, but this does include the Saxapahaw community. And again, if you're just joining us, if you're in this area, if you live in Saxapahaw, if you live in Sutpen, you need to be in your safe spot now. That would be the most inner room in your home, away from doors and windows. Make sure you're wearing shoes, even wear a helmet, even wear goggles, because if this storm is producing a tornado, it could loft debris into the air, and that could pierce through walls or maybe even windows in your home. So again, you want to find that most inner room in your home away from doors and windows. And I'm going to stay off screen here for just a moment while I get our bearings here. And if we zoom in a little bit closer, where you see these reds and these greens starting to mix, right here just to the south of Saxapahaw, this is the area that could be producing a tornado. This is pretty strong rotation to me. So far today, these storms have been producing broad rotation, but our clouds are really high in the sky. So a lot of times, even though the storm is rotating, it won't bring that cloud all the way to the ground. But this is a pretty concerning sign to me where these reds and greens are starting to mix. This is the area that is spinning and that could eventually produce a tornado. Now, we do not have a confirmed tornado on the ground. We don't have any confirmed reports of that. But if this storm produces a tornado, that would be the area that we're watching. So again, bear with me. I'm going to zoom out here on just a wider view and show you the storm that we're tracking. And I also want to call out some of your towns here. Again, if you live in Burlington, if you live in Rock Creek, this is not headed toward you. You are actually not included in the severe thunderstorm warning or the new tornado warning that was just issued. This is for areas that would include Saxapahaw. This would include Sutpen, Snow Camp. You're also not included in this tornado warning. And the storm is moving to the southeast at about 30 miles per hour. And what I want to do here is just put a storm track on it for you so that you can get a rough idea of arrival times. And we'll drag this here to the southeast. And again, do not take these arrival times to the bank. These are more really of a guide, just so you know. So if you live in Orange Chapel, if you live in the Cedar Grove Church community, if you live in the Mount Pleasant Church community, this storm is headed your way over the next 15 to 30 minutes. So I want you to get into your safe spot now. I want you to wear shoes, take a helmet with you, and even wear eye protection just in case this storm were to officially produce a tornado. We do not have confirmed reports of that. But just as I'm saying that, I want to zoom in here a little bit closer because what I'm seeing is this rotation tightening up, where you start to see the reds and the greens get a little bit brighter just here to the east of Eli Whitney community. This is just to the east of Highway 87. These reds and greens are starting to get brighter and starting to mix tighter. And to me, that would indicate that the storm is intensifying and that this rotation could also be intensifying as well. So honestly, this is a really concerning signature on the radar to me as we're watching this over the next few minutes. And newsroom, if you have any reports or if you hear of any damage that we can report, please pass that along to me. I'm going to check in here also with our folks at the National Weather Service just to see if they're saying anything. But again, this is a very concerning storm to me. Soon it will be out of Alamance County and it will be out of the News 2 viewing area, but still for the next 15 to 20 minutes, we're going to keep an eye on this. And this would really be really kind of moving away from the Saxapahaw community now and the Sutpen community, but you still are included in that tornado warning. If you're watching us in those areas, I still want you to stay in your safe spot until this storm gets out of those areas. But what I want to do for a second, again, we're going to continue to watch this, but I do want to toss it over to our Chief Meteorologist, Tim Buckley. And Tim, if you can tell us if you've seen any reports from the National Weather Service or if you're seeing anything that we haven't passed along to our viewers yet, please let me know that.
Hey there, Christian. Yeah, thanks. Everything that you've been saying is correct. We're still tracking a storm that could be producing a tornado. It's right on the edge of our News 2 viewing area. We're talking about southeastern Alamance County. And no, we do not have confirmation right now, but boy, oh boy, this looks pretty rough on radar. And this is in the same spot that saw a tornado, I believe it was last year, right near Saxbaugh and right near Eli Whitney. We tracked that one for you. We're tracking this one for you as well. We're right along Highway 87, and there's a little error in the radar right now. There's this little indent here, which is not real. That's a fragment, so ignore that. That's the strongest part of the storm. It's almost going to be pushing into Orange County and Chatham County. I want to switch to the velocity mode, and we show you this so often when we talk about tornadoes. The great thing about radar in 2021, we can show you the winds and how they're moving, not just the rain, but also the winds. And what the Weather Service is seeing here, they're seeing very strong winds going this way, and they're also seeing that strong wind coming around like this. So that's the rotation. In fact, we can show you this right about here is where we're seeing that rotation. It's already on the eastern side of Highway 87. So it's just passed over Highway 87. Very soon it'll be moving across the county line, okay? So let me zoom in even further and give you some of those street level views that are so vital in severe weather situations. It's right in the small community of Eli Whitney and right over some of these roads. This is Greensboro Chapel Hill Road. This is Hopewood Drive. This is McBain Mill Road. We also have Blue Ridge Drive, Virginia Lamb Drive, small neighborhood roads here, but that's exactly where the strongest part of the storm is. If you're watching us, chances are you might not be in this area, but the reason we do this is this could be a life-threatening situation for the folks right here. We've already seen bad storms across the entire area over the last little bit. Let's widen out things and show you just how bad it's been. I mean, if you've been in Greensboro, we've been getting blanketed by hail over the last hour or two, and this is just one of those storms. So I'm going to zoom out on the wide view, and then we'll go right back into that tornado warned area. Again, everything is cleared out north of Interstate 40, but we still have a couple of storms that are causing us trouble. So the storms in Guilford, Alamance, Randolph are still giving us problems, and that's where your tornado warning is occurring right now. So let's go back in. In fact, I don't want to ignore the folks here in Randolph County. You're still going to need to watch things over the next hour, and we'll be here with you through 6:30 no matter what, so you can keep it right here for all your weather coverage. But we're still seeing some storms in southern Guilford, also in northern Randolph. They're tracking to the southeast, not severe at this time, but they could be putting down some hail. We're going to go back to Alamance now, and let me just clarify who is not in this warning. If you are in Burlington, if you are in Graham, if you're in Mebane, you're too far north. You are not included in this storm. It is south of you. In fact, the sun is probably shining in Burlington at this time. South, though, is the problem. So when we say Alamance County, that only means a tiny chunk of the county. So let's go back now into the radar, and this is really approaching Orange County and Chatham County, south of Saxbaugh, near Sutphin, over toward Eli Whitney. Let's get the latest radar scan on the velocity track. Just kind of waiting for some new information here, honestly, and we'll probably leave you from this wall-to-wall coverage once it pushes across the county line, because at that point it's going to be moving into Orange and Chatham counties here. But that's that strong rotation that we look for to find a tornado. You need to have strong winds going one way, strong winds going the other way, right up against one another. That's what shows you something is spinning. If you think about playing it with a top as a toy as a kid, what you're really doing is you're pushing one thumb one way, one the other way. You're inducing that rotation, and that's what Mother Nature is doing to this thunderstorm right now. Not seeing any reports of damage or anything like that coming in, but that's usually delayed. So one of the things we like to do is go in and check with our Weather Service partners, and so far all we have from them is that they've seen enough rotation on radar to make them concerned. We agree. We're concerned too when we see this on the radar image. But this is a new scan, so let's go ahead and show you that latest image. If we compare by going back just a minute or two, we're seeing that system start to push right along the Alamance County line. So really, if you're anywhere in southeast Alamance, just kind of hunker down, be in that safe spot, away from windows, lowest level of the home. All of those things are the best pieces of advice that we can give to you in a situation just like this. We deal with this kind of weather a lot. You kind of know what to do. Hopefully you and your family have a severe weather plan. If you don't, you should. And this is when you put that into action, just to make sure. You're already doing the right thing by watching us, getting that local information, and that's just the way that we can keep each other safe. Let's go in a little bit closer now. The rotation is not quite as strong as it was on the most recent scans, so hopefully it continues that trend, but it is still pushing right along East Greensboro Chapel Hill Road. Ironically enough, this road is called Lois Lane. I've never seen a road actually called that before. Three Waters Road as well, and this is just about to push into Orange County. So if you are watching us on antenna in Orange County, the storm is headed your way. Not terribly quickly either. It's moving at about 30 miles per hour. So let me put a track on this system. We're going to watch this go south of White Cross, okay? This is the general motion over here. So it's moving toward White Cross. It's going to move in some of these small communities over the next 10 to 15 minutes. And generally, it's going to be pushing out of Alamance County. So very quickly, we'll start to cut Alamance out of this warning, and it'll be